Hey there, welcome to the August 10, 2019 edition of Common Sense News. Today's session is going to cover the Jeffrey Epstein being found dead in federal lockup, and also we're going to talk about truth, facts, and reality. So first, let's look at the Jeffrey Epstein situation. You probably know he has been in federal lockup for a couple of months now, pending a trial for child molestation and human trafficking and other things that are all related to sexual misconduct and pedophilia, etc. And today he was found dead in his cell. Now the thing is nobody, at least the news hasn't reported yet, how long he's been back in a cell situation instead of on suicide watch. He's been on suicide watch, as far as we knew, up until whenever. Whether he went back a day or two ago, it hasn't been released yet. But the thing is that Attorney General Barr has ordered an investigation into the happening, into the death, um, because he wants to know how a prisoner in federal, or a person incarcerated in a federal lockup ended up dead. And I don't blame him. I'm not going to speculate as to the ramifications of if Jeffrey Epstein was alive and still lives and went through a trial, and any information he might present in trial might implicate a lot of people, a lot of high value targets. I'm talking, high up in the government and business, etc., etc. But all that is speculation right now since he's dead. We'll have to wait and see if anything along those lines shakes out of the woods or out of the trees, and it all depends on the facts that they have accumulated to use in the trial of Jeffrey Epstein, which won't happen now. And the other thing we're going to talk about is facts, is one of them, but we're going to talk about the relationship between truth, facts, and reality. So let's get started. Truth is truth. Biblical truth, physical truth. Look around, you see what you see, and if an apple is sitting on a table, then it's truth that the apple is sitting on the table. Truth is kind of self-evident and self-fulfilling. Truth is built on facts. It reinforces facts. And like I say, it's built on facts. Facts make the foundation of truth. Now, facts are things that are. If an apple is a red apple, then it's a fact. It's a red apple. Facts, though, have a strange relationship with truth. Because, like I said, truth is built on and represents facts. However, facts can be used, real life facts can be used to hide truth at times. Now, let me give you an example of that. Let's say, for instance, if there was a car race between an American car and a Russian car, just those two cars, and the American car won. Well, here in the United States, the newspaper headlines about that event might read something like, "International race between the USA and Russian car, the USA won." Now, over in Russia, it's very possible that the headlines might read something like this: "International car race, Russia comes in second, USA next to last." Now, both headlines represent and portray items of fact. However, even though the facts are there in both, the facts in the Russian headline are manipulated to present a perceived reality that isn't really true. Now, when you have that relationship between truth and facts, you have to factor in one more thing, and that's called reality. And reality comes in two varieties. One, there's real reality, and the other one is perceived reality. Now, we have a national mainstream media corps that has been trying to create a perceived reality of the Trump administration being corrupt, of Trump being himself being a crass, vulgar person, not worthy or eligible, or not, that shouldn't be a president, shouldn't be in the White House, that his activities include like collusion with the Russians and all manner of items of what they've been calling treason and impeachable offenses and obstruction of justice. All of those things they've been accusing him of and for, they haven't had any factual facts. They haven't had any real facts. So they simply try to present the false facts that they have fabricated and present them to make a perception of Trump and those who support him as being crude and corrupt and everything. Now, one thing that they seem to be getting some traction on is they try to present Trump as a racist, as a anything but white racist that hates anything but whites. And one thing they've used to portray that, and they keep beating the same drum, is they say that after the incident in Charlottesville, Virginia, where the lady was run over by a car in the conflict that happened between the activists of two sides of Keep the Statues and the white supremacists that were there. There were some there. And then the other side, the Antifa group type people that were causing problems with the white nationalist groups, etc. And a lady got run over and killed, unfortunately. It was a bad situation. Now, the press reported and continues to report to this day that President Trump's comments about Charlottesville, he said there were good people on both sides. President Trump claims that white nationalists are good people. Now, President Trump did say there were good people on both sides. However, at the time he made that statement, he was specifically and clearly talking about the peaceful, nonviolent activist groups that were there, one supporting taking the statues down and one wanting to keep the statues up. He said there were good people on both sides of that situation. When he referred to the situation of where all the mayhem was and where the lady ended up getting killed, he was very clear. He denounced white supremacy. He denounced all hatred and all violence in situations like that. But the news media goes with the little fact that he did say there was good people on both sides, and they present that little fact in out of context and use a totally fictitious circumstance what they apply that statement to create the perceived reality that Trump and all his supporters are racists. Now, the Democrat Party supports this effort of the mainstream media to push that agenda. The Democrat Party itself and many prominent Democrats in elected positions are pushing that exact thing, pushing that exact same false narrative to try to portray Trump and his followers as being racist. This is it's just silly. Anybody that looks at it logically, common sense news, knows that that's not the way it is. The way the Democrats and press portray it is not the way it is. But that's the reality of where we live today, is people act on what they perceive to be real. So we have our work cut out for us to get the truth out there, keep the truth out there, and just hope that sooner or later the truth will prevail. Okay, thank you much for listening to this. And by the way, my other effort that I'm involved with, Sound the Alarm Brigade, I encourage you to take a look at it and go there, sign up on the website, doesn't cost a penny. Stand with us, get your name added to our numbers so that our voice will be louder. Thank you so much and have a good day.